You may or may not remember some of the old Nike slogans over the last several decades. Accept no limits. There is no finish line. Just do it. But in the 12 years that I worked there was another one that I remember, but I don't remember whether or not it was ever released to the public. But I remember we used it internally. And that was either you ran today or you didn't. Now, as you can imagine, in a company like that, there are so many people who do sports. So running could mean, did you go to the gym? Did you go on that bike tour? Did you play squash, basketball, tennis, baseball, football, whatever, you know? And so you might ask a colleague, did you go run today? And they just shoot right back at, yep, I went this morning before I came to work, or I'm going at lunchtime, or I brought my stuff, I'm going after work. Okay. You might ask another colleague, did you go run today? And they're like, no, man, because we got this meeting, and as a matter of fact, we had the same meeting the other day. We had to do it again last night, didn't get to finish until 9. And then I had to go pick up the girls. And then this morning I had to go take them to school. And then after a while, when you hear all these reasons why they didn't go run, you're like, hold on a second. Ho. All I asked you was one simple question. Did you run or didn't you? That's all I want to know. Yes or no? Why you didn't do it, I really don't care about that. And you shouldn't either. Did you run or didn't you? No, that's all I want to know. And so the reason I love this so much is because I see this so often where people are saying stuff to themselves that's simply not true. They're telling themselves that, you know, when they say they're going to do something and they make a promise to themselves first. And they said, tomorrow I'm going to get up early. Tomorrow I'm going to do this. Or I'm going to do this later on. And then they get there and then they say, did you do it? And they're like, no, because I didn't have time. You what? You didn't have time? He said, yeah, because I had to do this and do this. And that's where I always say, and I'm the first one to tell this to myself. Stop lying to yourself. Stop it. Stop telling yourself you didn't have time. Stop telling yourself all the reasons why you didn't get to it. And tell yourself the truth. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. It's not because I didn't have time. It's because it just wasn't that important to me. That's why I didn't do it. It wasn't that important, because if it had been that important to get up and go run, I would have gotten my butt up a half an hour, 45 minutes earlier, no matter how much I slept, and I would have went out running because it was just that important to me. That's obsession. That's what it takes. And so that's why I always tell people, stop lying to yourself. Just look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth. Like if you're late and you start explaining to people why you're late, you know, they don't really care about that. They just want to know you weren't here when you were supposed to be here. And you say, yeah, but it's a really good reason. It's a really good reason for you. But it helps you to justify why you were late. Do you think that makes them feel better? Because they were sitting here waiting for you for 10 or 15 minutes and you didn't show up until 15. You didn't even call. You see what I'm saying? So stop telling yourself lies. Tell yourself the truth. If you got a goal that you're trying to reach and you're not reaching that goal fast enough because you're always getting distracted, because you always have stuff to do, because stuff always keeps coming up, because of this and because of that, you know, you got to step back and do a check and ask yourself really what the deal is. And ask yourself this one question. Is this really that important to me that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get it done? Is this that important to me? And that reminds me of the film $1 Million Baby. I don't know if you've ever seen that before with, I can't remember the actress's name. She was a boxer. And she said, Hilary Swank. And in the gym where she trained, there was a poster on the wall that said, winners do things that losers aren't willing to do, or something like that. And it's true, you know? And it doesn't mean that if you don't achieve your goal, you're a loser. But what I'm saying is, if you really want to achieve that goal and you keep getting distracted, you have to figure out, you know, why that is. Maybe it really isn't just that important. Maybe it really isn't something that you're willing to do anything for. Maybe you're not willing to do whatever is necessary. But if that's the case, then just tell yourself the truth. And that doesn't necessarily mean you have to change goals. It just means you have to kind of put things in perspective And you'll say, I'll reach the goal whenever I get to it because these other things take priority. And that's cool. That's fine. But if you really, really want to do it, you get up earlier. You'll find the time. You'll figure out whether or not you're spending the time that you do have in the most effective way, in the optimal way. You'll start to see and become aware of whether or not you're dedicating time to people who say, I really need your help right now because this is really important. And in the end, it's really not that important. It's not important in your stuff. It might be because you're not blocking time. It might be because you're educating people in the wrong way. You're allowing them to interrupt you anytime they want to, and they know that you will be available, even though that's keeping you from reaching your goals. You know, you have to start asking yourself these questions. So the next time that you find yourself wanting to make excuses, I would say don't accept those excuses from yourself and just ask yourself that question and be satisfied with this answer. Did you run today or didn't you? It's that simple. And so if you think that this message is something that someone else needs to hear, then please share it. You might be doing them a favor. At any rate, subscribe to my channel, click like on the video if you like it, and stay tuned because I have so much more stuff to say that you have no idea. Okay? And I'll see you in the next video.